Welcome, Class 9 students, to an exciting journey into the microscopic world of biology. Today, we are diving into a crucial topic, the useful role of bacteria in agriculture. You might think of bacteria as only causing diseases, but many are silent heroes, working tirelessly in our farms. We'll explore how these tiny organisms help grow the food we eat, starting with the basics and moving to advanced concepts. Get ready to uncover their incredible contributions. Let's begin with the easy level, understanding the fundamental ways bacteria support agriculture. It's simpler than you might imagine. First, what exactly are bacteria? They are tiny, single-celled living things, so small you need a microscope to see them. While some bacteria can make us sick, many others are incredibly helpful, especially in farming. One of their most important jobs is helping plants get a vital nutrient called nitrogen. Plants need nitrogen to grow strong and healthy, just like we need protein. But plants can't directly use the nitrogen gas that's all around us in the air. This is where special bacteria come in. They live in the roots of certain plants, like peas and beans, in little bumps called nodules. These bacteria take nitrogen gas from the air and change it into a form the plant can actually use, like a natural fertilizer. We call this amazing process nitrogen fixation. Another super important job bacteria do is cleaning up the soil. Think about all the dead leaves, old plant parts, and even dead insects that end up on the ground. These contain valuable nutrients. Decomposer bacteria are like nature's recycling crew. They break down all this dead stuff into simpler substances. This process releases essential nutrients, such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, back into the soil. Once these nutrients are in the soil, new plants can easily absorb them and grow. This constant recycling by bacteria is absolutely vital for keeping our soil fertile and healthy, ensuring that there's always enough food for new plants to thrive. For example, when a pile of garden waste breaks down, it's these bacteria doing the hard work, turning waste into rich soil. Now, let's test your understanding with a few practice questions. First, what is nitrogen fixation, and can you name a common bacterium that performs this in legume roots? Second, describe one way bacteria help maintain soil fertility by breaking down dead matter. And finally, can plants directly use nitrogen gas from the atmosphere? Briefly explain why or why not. Take a moment to think about your answers. Moving on to the medium level, we'll dive a bit deeper into these bacterial processes. You'll discover more about how they work and their significant impact. Nitrogen fixation is truly the foundation of plant life. Atmospheric nitrogen, though abundant, is in a form unusable by most organisms. Bacteria bridge this gap. We have two main types, symbiotic fixers, like Rhizobium, which form a crucial partnership with legume plants in root nodules, converting nitrogen gas into ammonia. The plant gives the bacteria sugars in return. Then there are free-living fixers, such as Azotobacter and Clostridium, which live independently in the soil, along with cyanobacteria, important in waterlogged areas like rice paddies. Beyond fixation, decomposer bacteria are the champions of nutrient recycling. They break down complex organic matter into simpler, inorganic nutrients, a process called mineralization. This prevents dead biomass from accumulating and ensures essential elements like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus are continuously cycled back into the soil. A key outcome is the formation of humus, a dark, rich organic material that greatly improves soil structure and its ability to retain water and nutrients. Next, let's look at two more vital processes, nitrification and denitrification, which further shape nitrogen availability. Nitrification is a two-step process where specific bacteria, first Nitrosomonas and then Nitrobacter, convert ammonia into nitrites and then nitrates. Nitrates are the most easily absorbable form of nitrogen for most plants. So, These bacteria essentially make nitrogen plant-ready. On the other hand, denitrification happens under low oxygen conditions. Here, denitrifying bacteria like Pseudomonas and Bacillus convert nitrates back into nitrogen gas, which then escapes into the atmosphere. While part of the natural cycle, excessive denitrification can lead to nitrogen loss from the soil, which isn't ideal for agriculture. Understanding both processes helps us manage soil nitrogen effectively. Finally, at this medium level, we explore biofertilizers, sustainable agriculture's allies. These are preparations containing living microorganisms, which, when applied to seeds, plants, or soil, help promote plant growth. They do this by increasing the supply or availability of primary nutrients to the host plant. Think of them as natural boosters for your crops. Unlike chemical fertilizers, biofertilizers are environmentally friendly, reducing the need for synthetic chemicals. Common examples include Rhizobium, used for legumes, Azotobacter for cereals and cotton, and Cyanobacteria for rice paddies. Their benefits are significant. They reduce reliance on chemical fertilizers, improve overall soil health, enhance crop yields, and support a more sustainable farming approach, contributing to a healthier planet. Time for some medium-level practice questions. First, differentiate between symbiotic and free-living nitrogen-fixing bacteria, giving an example for each. Second, explain the role of decomposer bacteria in the formation of humus. Third, describe the process of nitrification and name the bacteria involved. Fourth, how do biofertilizers contribute to sustainable agriculture? And finally, what is denitrification and under what conditions does it primarily occur? Take your time to formulate comprehensive answers. Welcome to the hard level. Here, we'll analyze the intricate connections and deeper theories behind bacteria's agricultural roles. Get ready for a challenge. The nitrogen cycle is truly a bacterial orchestration, a complex biogeochemical process critical for all life, almost entirely driven by these microorganisms. It begins with nitrogen fixation, where bacteria like Rhizobium and Azotobacter convert atmospheric N2 into ammonia. Then comes ammonification, where decomposer bacteria and fungi break down organic nitrogen from dead organisms into ammonia. Nitrification is a crucial two-step process. Nitrosomonas oxidize ammonia to nitrite, and then Nitrobacter oxidize nitrite to nitrate, which is the form most readily absorbed by plants. Finally, denitrification, carried out by bacteria like Pseudomonas under anaerobic conditions, converts nitrates back to N2 gas, completing the cycle. Each step is vital. Now, let's delve into the mechanisms of nitrogen fixation. This is an energy-intensive process, demanding a significant amount of ATP and reducing power. The key enzyme complex, nitrogenase, is extremely sensitive to oxygen. In symbiotic fixers like Rhizobium, the host plant ingeniously forms root nodules, creating a low-oxygen environment. The plant even produces legmoglobin, an oxygen-binding protein, to carefully regulate oxygen levels, protecting the nitrogenase enzyme while still allowing the bacteria to breathe. This delicate balance is essential for effective nitrogen fixation. Beyond just nutrient cycling, bacteria profoundly impact soil structure and overall health. Firstly, decomposer bacteria are key players in humus formation. Humus is a dark, organic material that binds soil particles together, creating aggregates. This improves soil aeration, allowing roots to breathe, enhances drainage, preventing waterlogging, and significantly boosts the soil's capacity to hold water and essential nutrients. Secondly, some beneficial soil bacteria act as natural bodyguards for plants, suppressing diseases. They produce antibiotics or simply outcompete harmful pathogens, protecting the plants from infections. An example is Bacillus subtilis. Thirdly, certain bacteria are like plant personal trainers. They produce plant growth-regulating substances known as phytohormones, such as auxins and gibberellins. These hormones stimulate robust root development and promote overall plant vigor, leading to healthier, stronger crops. Lastly, bacteria can also solubilize nutrients, making them available. For instance, phosphate-solubilizing bacteria, like certain Pseudomonas and Bacillus species, convert insoluble forms of phosphorus in the soil into soluble forms that plants can easily absorb, boosting their phosphorus intake. Moving beyond fertilizers, bacteria also serve as biopesticides and play a critical role in bioremediation. As biopesticides, certain bacteria like Bacillus thuringiensis commonly known as BT, produce protein crystals that are toxic to specific insect pests, such as the larvae of moths and butterflies. This offers an environmentally friendly and highly targeted alternative to chemical pesticides, which can harm beneficial insects and the environment. In bioremediation, bacteria are powerful allies in cleaning up contaminated agricultural soils. Agricultural practices often leave behind residues of harmful pesticides, herbicides, and even heavy metals. Specialized bacteria can break down these complex, toxic substances into less harmful or completely benign compounds. This process restores the soil quality, making it safe and productive again. For example, some bacteria can metabolize complex pesticide molecules, while others can immobilize or transform heavy metals, preventing them from being absorbed by plants. These applications highlight bacteria's versatile and essential contributions to sustainable and healthy agriculture. Now for the hard-level practice questions. First, explain the complete nitrogen cycle, detailing the roles of at least 4 different bacterial groups involved. Second, how do root nodules facilitate nitrogen fixation, considering the oxygen sensitivity of the nitrogenase enzyme? Third, discuss 3 ways beneficial bacteria improve soil structure and health, apart from nutrient cycling. Fourth, compare and contrast the processes of nitrification and denitrification, highlighting their importance in agriculture. Fifth, describe how Bacillus thuringiensis is utilized as a biopesticide. Sixth, what is the role of phosphate-solubilizing bacteria, PSB, in making nutrients available to plants? And finally, how can bacteria contribute to the bioremediation of agricultural lands? Take your time to provide detailed and analytical answers. All right, future scientists, brace yourselves for the hardest level. Here, we'll explore competitive depth, engineering insights, and the cutting-edge applications of bacteria in agriculture. Let's dive into advanced nitrogen fixation systems and their bioengineering potential. While the symbiotic relationship between rhizobium and legumes is well known, scientists are now exploring how to extend this nitrogen-fixing capability to non-leguminous crops like cereals, which are staple foods. This involves ambitious genetic engineering efforts, either by introducing rhizobium-like symbiosis or even directly engineering nitrogenase genes into plant plastids. Another area of focus is endophytes, bacteria that live inside plant tissues without forming nodules. These endophytes are being studied for their natural nitrogen-fixing abilities in a wider variety of crops, potentially offering a simpler route to enhanced nitrogen input. A key aspect of symbiotic fixation is nod factor signaling, a sophisticated biochemical communication where rhizobium releases specific molecules that trigger the host plant to form root nodules, illustrating a remarkable coevolution. Furthermore, bacteria like Frankia form actinorhizal nodules with non-leguminous trees, showing diverse nitrogen-fixing partnerships. Now, let's get into the intricate biochemistry of nitrogenase and its industrial implications. The nitrogenase enzyme complex, responsible for converting N to 2NH3, is comprised of 2 metalloproteins, the Fe protein and the Mov protein. The Fe protein acts as an electron donor, transferring electrons to the Mov protein, which then directly binds and reduces the N2 molecule. This entire reaction is incredibly energy-intensive, requiring 16 ATP molecules for every single N2 molecule fixed, making it one of the most energetically demanding biological processes known. The core catalytic mechanism occurs at the femocofactor site within the MOF protein, involving multiple electron and proton transfers. Understanding this complex biological process is critical because it contrasts sharply with the industrial Haber-Bosch process, which synthesizes ammonia using extremely high temperatures and pressures, consuming vast amounts of fossil fuels. The goal is to harness nature's efficiency to develop more sustainable and energy-efficient methods for nitrogen fertilizer production, reducing our environmental footprint. Next, we explore soil microbiome engineering and plant probiotics. The soil microbiome, which is the entire community of microorganisms living in the soil, is a complex ecosystem that profoundly influences plant health and productivity. Soil microbiome engineering involves intentionally manipulating these communities to enhance agricultural outcomes. This includes using plant probiotics, which are beneficial microbes inoculated onto seeds, plants, or soil to improve nutrient uptake, increase stress tolerance against factors like drought or salinity, and boost resistance to diseases. Researchers are also developing synthetic microbial communities, or SYNCOMs, where specific consortia of beneficial bacteria are designed and introduced to achieve targeted functions within the soil. Advanced techniques like metagenomics, which involves analyzing all the genetic material from soil samples, allow us to identify novel microbial functions and interactions without needing to culture individual species. Understanding the intricate biochemical dialogue within the rhizosphere, the zone around plant roots, including processes like quorum sensing, where bacteria communicate, and chemotaxis, their movement towards chemicals, is crucial for optimizing these interventions. Bacteria also play a vital role in the bioremediation of agricultural pollutants and have a significant environmental impact. Agricultural practices often lead to soil and water contamination from pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, and excess nutrients. Bacteria offer a powerful, natural solution. Specific bacterial strains possess enzymes capable of breaking down complex organic pesticides, such as organophosphates, into harmless compounds. Furthermore, some bacteria can detoxify heavy metals by immobilizing, sequestering, or transforming them into less bioavailable forms, thereby reducing their toxicity to plants and animals. They also help mitigate nitrate leaching by using denitrifying bacteria in controlled environments to prevent excess nitrates from runoff into water bodies, thus combating eutrophication. Beyond pollution control, bacterial processes contribute to climate change mitigation. Enhanced microbial activity in soil helps sequester atmospheric CO2, storing carbon in the soil, and optimized nitrogen cycling can reduce the emission of N2O, a potent greenhouse gas, from denitrification. These roles are central to building a more sustainable and resilient agricultural system. Let's tackle the first set of hardest level questions. Question 1. Discuss the current challenges and potential solutions in engineering non-leguminous crops to fix atmospheric nitrogen. Question 2. Elaborate on the biochemical mechanism of the nitrogenase enzyme, specifically addressing its oxygen sensitivity and high energy demand. Compare its efficiency with the industrial Haber-Bosch process. Question 3. Explain the concept of soil microbiome engineering and how plant probiotics are being developed and utilized in modern agriculture. Provide examples of techniques used to study these microbiomes. Question 4. Describe two distinct mechanisms by which bacteria contribute to the bioremediation of agricultural pollutants, providing specific examples for each. Question 5. Analyze the economic and ecological benefits of integrating bacterial roles into sustainable agricultural practices, considering both short-term and long-term impacts. Here's the second set of hardest level questions. Question 6. What is the significance of Nod factor signaling in symbiotic nitrogen fixation, and how does it illustrate the coevolutionary relationship between bacteria and plants? Question 7. Discuss the role of legmoglobin in root nodules. How does it protect the nitrogenase enzyme while still supporting bacterial respiration? Question 8. Beyond nitrogen, how do bacteria contribute to the availability of other essential plant nutrients like phosphorus or iron, and what are the specific bacterial groups involved? Question 9. Evaluate the potential of using synthetic microbial communities, SYNCOMs, for targeted agricultural applications, considering both advantages and potential limitations. Question 10. How do bacterial processes in the soil contribute to climate change mitigation, specifically in terms of carbon and nitrogen cycles? And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the useful roles of bacteria in agriculture. From simple nitrogen fixation to complex microbiome engineering, bacteria are truly the unsung heroes of our farms. I hope you've enjoyed uncovering their incredible contributions. To continue your learning journey and explore more fascinating topics, visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting educational content. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep learning. Thank you for joining us today.